at the sit-go over on 4th Street and Elkhart Avenue. It's a make-or-break couple of weeks in Washington where lawmakers are trying to pass a new federal budget and find a way to limit government spending. Our own District 19 Representative Randy Neugebauer is in town today, and he's over now with Evan in the Community Center.
Thanks very much, Terry. Appreciate that. It's always very nice when we have the congressman joining us here in studio. Thanks very much.
Good to be here.
A week-long recess for you.
Yes.
So you're back at it, and you're here in this area, so you're going to spend some time as well out in Abilene.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You look forward to coming home whenever you get a chance?
I do. And, you know, one of the things that we did with the new schedule in the House is we allowed an opportunity to have a certain number of legislative weeks and then have a week off for members of Congress to go back and talk to the people they work for and go back and take the message and give them updates and briefings, and also, more important, have listening sessions. And so that's kind of what we're doing as we travel through the district.
Well, there's so much attention right now on exactly what Terry was talking about, this March 4th deadline. The money runs out for the federal budget. If you don't have an agreement by then, the federal government shuts down. All these things happen. And everybody's saying they don't want it to happen. And of course you don't.
No, you don't want to shut the government down. But the other thing, though, the American people were very clear, and I think they sent this message in November, that they do want us to do something about these huge deficits. Evan, we're on track here to have a $1.6 trillion deficit in our country this year. To put that in perspective, that means for every dollar that we're spending, the federal government's borrowing 42 cents. And so what they do want us to do is spend their money wisely, but they also understand we're spending money that we don't have, and they want us to reduce that deficit. So what we have to do is work together in a bipartisan way to figure out a way to accomplish those goals.
And you mentioned the word bipartisan, and that's what it's going to take, it sounds like. Just recently, even today, Mitch McConnell saying, yes, we would like to see maybe even a short extension. Harry Reid saying from the Democrats, yes, maybe we'll do a short extension. But there's a disconnect there because Republicans want to pass even a short extension with some budget cuts. Democrats right now are really holding off on that. Do Democrats need to come across and say, we have to cut at least something?
Well,
I
think they do, or they weren't listening to the memo that the American people sent. And if you keep bumping these short-term extensions with no cuts, pretty soon September 30th comes and you haven't made any cuts at all. And so you've let 7 months go by without any cuts. And I don't think that's acceptable to the American people. It's certainly not acceptable to me. So I think any kind of short-term extension, if they need a little bit of time in the Senate to work their bill, the House worked their bill, in fact, finished up at 4:30 Saturday morning, then that's fine. But we can't let them play a game here of just kicking this forward, and then we end up having no cuts.
But what gets cut? I suppose that's the big question, and that's the thing that goes back and forth. Democrats accuse Republicans of cutting the things that Democrats really like and support, and I know you accuse the Democrats of not wanting to cut enough, that not really understanding the problem.
Well, we had a very open process. Everybody was able to offer amendments in the 3.5 days that we spent debating this bill to the wee hours of every night, and so Democrats had plenty of opportunity to do that. Republicans brought amendments to the floor. The Democrats, in many cases, chose just to talk against the Republican amendments and not really bring any of their own. So I think if you're going to talk about, well, what things we're going to cut, I think you have to come to the and hopefully that process will begin.
I'm not saying you're a betting man, but if you were, is the federal government going to be in business after March 4th?
I think it is, but I think the greater question is how much of this gamesmanship will continue until at some point in time there has to be a showdown of, we're either serious about listening to what the American people want or we're not. And so if we need to accommodate them for a short period of time with a cut, I think there will be the votes to do that. I think it'd be very difficult to pass any kind of extension that didn't have any cuts.
Well, I know I'm paying close attention. I'm very curious as well, just as everybody else. Always nice having you here.
Thank you, Evan.
Thanks so much. Congressman Randy Neugebauer, it's a pleasure to have him. We're going to